All right.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our very, very first Guild virtual event. It's Cheers for Volunteers, and this is National Volunteer Week, and we couldn't miss the chance of getting together. Now, in our old world, before things got turned upside down, we would have been meeting at the Royal George in the back in the gallery space, and we would have been mixing and mingling, and we would have been remembering all the wonderful things that we did that made 2019 such a fantastic year for the Guild and for the Shaw Festival. But that was then, and this is now. So our reality now is you have Brenda Weaver, our activities chair, and myself as your hosts. Behind the scenes, we have two moderators, Cheryl Morris, who's our communications chair, and Mary Meisen, who's our secretary. And a special shout out to Cheryl, because it's her passion for all these new tools that have got us to where we are today. And another special thank you to Laura Hughes, who's the Senior Communications Manager at the Shaw Festival, because she's had experience with these tools and she's shared everything with us. So this is really a bit of a test for us because we've never done it before. And we're obviously anxious to see how it goes, and we're anxious to see your reaction to it. So you out there, our audience, Guild members, when we're finished, please, if you've got comments and feedback, just do us a quick email to info@shawguild.ca, and that input will be part of what we look at when we're trying to see whether we're going to do this again. So here's how it's going to work, fingers crossed. I'm going to turn the spotlight over in just a minute to Brenda, and she's going to introduce our two guests, TC and Tim Jennings. While we're talking, you're going to maybe see across the bottom a banner. That banner will contain words of thank you from executive committee members who also wanted to express their words of thanks for National Volunteers Week. After basically, when it's time to go to Tim and TC, Brenda and I will exit, and the two Tims will take over. And then on the other side, when they're finished, they will have some remarks. They will take questions. We have some already, but if you are joining us via YouTube Live in your account, you can also submit questions to us. When they're finished, other side, Brenda and I will be back, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Guild, and then we'll do our toast to National Volunteer Week. So Brenda, over to you.
Thanks, Lori. Also joining us virtually today, although they really do need no introduction, I'm sure.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you want me to remove Lori at this point?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really need to see my whole face, but anyway. They really need no introduction. We have Tim Jennings, Executive Director of the Shaw Festival, and of course, Tim Carroll, the Artistic Director. Welcome, Tim and TC. We're really excited that you're joining us for this event. We will miss your smiling faces in person, but it will be really encouraging and wonderful to see you on screen. So I would like to thank them for taking the time to be with us and invite them to speak to us. And after they have shared, as Lori said, you'll see some of those questions come up, and feel free to add those as you wish. So without further ado, Tim and TC, take it away.
They have now.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Tim and TC. We are thrilled to hear about what's happening behind the scenes, so to speak, although there are really no scenes. On behalf of all of the Guild members, we want to let you know that we're really appreciative of how thoughtful and intentional and compassionate you have been in your approach to what has been an unprecedented challenge. And we've recently heard from many Guild members by various means about how touched and moved they have been by your human and very deeply kind response to the situation in which we find ourselves. You are exemplary leaders, and the company, and by extension the Guild, are very fortunate to have you at the helm. The ship will prevail. We will all get through this together, and that's in no small part due to your vision and strength. So from all of us, a million thanks. Lori.
Well, in addition to what Tim and TC have said, we just wanted to give you all a quick update on what the Guild's been up to. We have formed a small team. We call ourselves the V team. V is for virus, but it's also for victory, because when this is over, we're going to be celebrating a victory. So we started meeting every week. We now meet every 2 weeks. And basically, we've been monitoring things. We've been monitoring what's been happening at the provincial level, the local level, and we've been staying very, very close to the Shaw, and particularly with Tim Jennings and Tim Carroll and their leaders. And I just like to echo what Brenda said. Despite all the things that have been on their plate with this crisis management, they have always found the time for us. They've been there with information. They've been there to answer our questions. So they are indeed our heroes. So what have we been doing? From an operations standpoint, you'll know the dates that we're all following. State of emergency at the province in effect until May the 12th, and that controls the non-essential workers and the restrictions on gatherings. Niagara-on-the-Lake as well, June the 30th until then, all of their facilities and public events canceled. So we've been monitoring those. You know that we've canceled the garden tour and the Scent, Savor and Stroll event, and we were just all heartbroken to have to do that because it was going to be such a fantastic celebration. The teams had worked so hard, and in fact, the evening event, the Friday evening VIP event, the 100 tickets, which was the cap, we were already sold out by mid-March. However, we'll be on to something even better next year in 2021. So we've been focused on operations, getting all of those details cleaned up. We've been doing scenarios of worst case and best case as to what would happen. We've also been focused on communications, and I think you're aware of that. The newsletter frequency has now gone from every month to every 2 weeks. And we're looking for all of your stories. The Guild website, shawguild.ca, is going to be the official repository for all information. So if you need to know anything, that's the place to go. And if you've got any questions at any time or any ideas of how you can keep us engaged, we love hearing your stories. We love getting your photos. Please contact any of us, or info@shawguild.ca will get information to any of the executive committee members. So maybe I should just ask out there if anyone has any questions for us on the Guild. I'd be glad to answer them.
We have a question from Kim. She says, Lori, if this YouTube works, how often do you think you will offer it to the volunteers?
Well, I think it depends on when we've got some news and something to say. We would probably go back to, I think, something like our regular event schedule and find the next opportunity that we had a plan for. But that's kind of getting a little bit ahead of the game, Kim. Let's see how we do, and let's see what the reaction is. I think it's going to be people's interest more than anything else that will say whether or not we're going to keep going with YouTube. But thank you for your question, Kim. That was very timely. Thank you very much.
Okay,
and that's all our questions for today.
Okay, that's our questions for today.
I think it's time, Brenda.
Yes, I think it is. We will now direct our attention towards you, the volunteers who support the Guild with your time, effort, finances, and hearts. So I have a little poem with apologies to Dr. Seuss. My friends, said the Shaw, you are very fine friends. You've helped all the folks in the company no end. You've greeted our patrons, you've done tours galore, you've tended our gardens, you've hosted, and more. You meant what you said, and you said what you meant. A volunteer's faithful, 100%. And so, Lori, please raise a glass with us.
We raise a glass to our volunteers. The glasses, by the way, we hope you have something handy by your screens to be able to join us in this toast. And we miss you all, and we can't wait to get back to do the things that we do best, which is volunteer at the Shaw. So cheers. Here we go, Brenda. Cheers.
Cheers.
Goggle, 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 goggle.